Hey, what's up guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is August 15th, 2021. So this is an emergency transition, which I have entitled Afghanistan Endgame. So basically, based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters, located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland, is staging the current Taliban offensive to culminate in one or more of the following 5 events: a Joe Biden resignation, attacks on U.S. troops, an ISIS versus Taliban terror war in Afghanistan, a proxy war with China, Iran, Pakistan, or Russia designed to trigger World War III, or a Cbrn related attack emanating from Afghanistan. So for those of you who don't know, May 1st, which is 5/1, keep that in mind, Area 51, 5/1, the CIA launched the current Taliban offensive, which has resulted in all provincial capitals in Afghanistan falling to the Taliban, and just culminated as of today, August 15th, with the Afghan president Ashraf Ghani fleeing the country of Afghanistan, which is now currently governmentless. So exactly what the CIA plans to use this current crisis for is obviously not known, but the following 5 scenarios are the most likely. Firstly, a Joe Biden resignation. So this is imminent, possibly tomorrow, but definitely next week or the following week as this crisis begins to escalate. So Joe Biden inexplicably removed the U.S. Troops from Afghanistan, which was premeditatedly designed to create a power vacuum within Afghanistan, whereby the Taliban, other terror groups such as Al-Qaeda and ISIS, as well as China, Russia, Pakistan, and Iran can basically take over, and that would basically draw the U.S. into a war. So Biden is being criticized by both Democrats and Republicans ad nauseum. So it appears that this crisis has been staged in part to result in his timely resignation, which would result in an unprecedented Kamala Harris presidency, and she would subsequently nominate Michelle Obama as vice president. This is why they staged the Me Too movement. And then that would get Barack Obama back in the White House, and we all know what is planned from there. Secondly, attacks on U.S. troops. So basically, although the U.S. allegedly pulled out of Afghanistan on August 14th, Biden sent another 5,000 troops back to Afghanistan to help the current troops evacuate. I don't know if that makes sense. And then today, on August 15th, he sent another 1,000 troops. So it appears that these troops are basically being used as bait or cheese, so to speak, to be attacked, to be sacrificed in order to escalate the war and basically trigger a new terror and World War III crisis in Afghanistan, which coincidentally borders or is extremely close to 5 nuclear nations. So China, Iran, Pakistan, Russia, and of course India. So it's one of the most destabilized places in the world. Thirdly, in respect to attacks on U.S. troops, so what we can expect is a redux of what happened back on August 6, 2011, when 38 U.S. military and Pakistani or Afghani troops were killed when their Chinook was hit by allegedly enemy fire, and in which 23 Navy SEALs, which were linked to the bin Laden raid, perished. So we can expect some sort of mass attack on U.S. troops surrounding this crisis. Thirdly, an ISIS versus Taliban war. So basically, the first battle between these 2 state-sponsored terror groups commenced back on November 11th of 2015. So basically, the CIA plans to pit the ISIS troops, which are basically which were formulated under Obama under the guise of the Syrian rebels. They're currently hiding out at the top-secret base called Al-Tanef. I published a report entitled back on August 24th, 2018, entitled Top Secret ISIS Headquarters Located at Al-Tanef in Syria. You can find the link at 911truther.org at the top of the page or at the left side. So basically this secret base, which is on the Syrian-Jordan border, is where they're basically training these US and NATO special forces to commit horrific attacks both within the Middle East, Europe, all over the world. And this is basically their training base. So we can expect some sort of a major airlift of these ISIS terrorists into Afghanistan, where they will be pitted against the Taliban, and then a proxy war will result. So that takes us to number 4, which is a proxy war in Afghanistan as a prelude to World War III. So basically, this impending terror war within Afghanistan is designed to draw in China, Iran, Pakistan, Russia, or even India possibly into the fray. So these are, as we know, state-sponsored terror groups, Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, ISIS. And so what they plan on doing is, the reason why they staged this dramatic week-long offensive and all these capitals fell with no resistance, is because they plan to do the same thing with ISIS. And then of course Russia will accuse the United States of being behind ISIS, or the United States will accuse another country such as Russia, Iran, Pakistan as funding the Taliban. And this is how they plan to use this crisis to basically ignite a global or a world war coming out of Afghanistan. Last but not least, a Cbrn related event. So this proxy war in Afghanistan is designed to culminate in some sort of Cbrn event. This is chemical, biological, radioactive, or nuclear. So back on July 1st, 2021, the United States inexplicably abandoned Bagram Air Force Base in Afghanistan. This is one of the most strategically located bases in all the Middle East that has been actively under US control for the last 20 years. And so this is designed to foreshadow that 9/11 style Cbrn attacks emanating from Bagram Air Force Base are imminent. And the notion that the CIA would stage a 9/11 style attack emanating from Afghanistan was witnessed back on September 11th of 2001, when Osama bin Laden, a CIA asset codenamed Tim Osman, allegedly orchestrated the 9/11 attacks from some cave in Tora Bora, Afghanistan, which we all know is bullshit, but they've created this narrative which has set the precedent for redux 9/11 style attacks emanating from Afghanistan. And in the aftermath of said attacks, 9/11 style attacks, we can expect something which recently came out in 2016, which was just called File 17, which basically was the US government found that Saudi Arabia was behind the 9/11 attacks. 15 of the 19 hijackers were Saudi, and this has been quote unquote confirmed by the US government. So post 9/11 Cbrn related event coming out of Afghanistan, we can expect some sort of fraudulent report by the CIA claiming that Russia, Iran, Pakistan, or China was behind the impending attack. So lastly, in closing, in the event that the CIA stages a Joe Biden resignation in respect to Afghanistan, any attacks on US troops going to Afghanistan or flying out of Afghanistan, if they stage an ISIS versus Taliban war, or they end up triggering World War III, or staging a Cbrn attack emanating or related to Afghanistan, I kindly ask that you share this video with local police, local law enforcement, local military, intelligence agencies, and of course news and media outlets all around the world, because my website and yours truly are basically being blacklisted, shadow banned. Everything that I put out, you only have to look at a number of the reports. Try sharing it on social media and you'll see what happens. But yeah, so in the event that any of these things come to fruition, come to pass, I kindly ask that you forward it to the aforementioned entities, and hopefully we can prevent a nuclear World War III from coming out of this current crisis. Peace.